We turn now to Dave Stewart, who is a crew chief for American Airlines at the Tulsa Maintenance Base. I want to remind you, you can call in your questions at the number that is on the screen or send your questions in by email, and we'll be answering those questions a little later in the program. But turning to Dave Stewart, Dave, you've been with American for a while. Why is change needed now?
Well, thank you, Tim. I've been at American for 29 years, and change is overdue not only at American Airlines for the mechanic and related group at American Airlines, but also all of the aircraft mechanics in the industry. We really seek to change the whole industry, not just at American. And I have some information to share. For over 60 years, the majority of the mechanics within the airline industry have been represented by I call them the big three industrial unions, and that's made up of the TW, the Transport Workers Union, the Teamsters, and the IAM, the International Association of Machinists. During the days of a regulated airline industry, this type of catch-all unionism was sheltered from the current exposures of failure that we're seeing by the federal government dictating controls on both landing slots and ticket pricing. Carrier competition as it pertained to cost and pricing was not really as prevalent as what we see today, and the service provided by the carriers was king to the choice of the flying passengers. Since deregulation was enacted, the competition has become fierce between passenger carriers, and the industrial union idea has kept the AMTs of the industry divided, and we are being used against one another instead of as a united force. It has been a race to the bottom, with our profession spiraling downward and failing to even keep up with inflation. All the AMTs in the industry need to consolidate into one union to stop this type of division. And in my opinion, AMFA is the best choice to be the union that we consolidate into. In other words, as the unregulated airline industry consolidates, we should and we will consolidate our union representation as a means to survive. Industrial unions tend to focus mostly on the concept of political campaign financing and political lobbying as the primary means to protect the interest of the membership. While this may be a valid solution to some, it is now obvious that this idea is not only failing us all, including non-airline related union members, but over the years, it has become a great waste of time and money and has evolved into more of a good old boy club for alcoholic-filled partying and dining on the dime of the union membership. A membership, by the way, that has suffered setback after setback for over 30 years since deregulation was enacted by Congress. There are few, if any, victories that the industrial unions can bring forward to claim that this idea is anything other than a complete disaster and a failure. The industrial union strategy against changing the current demise of our craft is more about protecting the political institution than promoting and defending the aviation maintenance profession. They would rather continue to play in the political arena and party using the hard-earned money from your and my paycheck. It is time to change the focus and to begin to use new ideas and technology-based membership involvement instead of continuing in the dismal rut of failed ideas and policies. Once we become represented by AMFA, all the resources will then go towards craft-specific goals. And as my good friend Lee Seaham has said, at that point, every dime and every dollar of your union dues will be spent on this craft, and every thought of every second of every day will be about this profession. In contrast, the industrial unions must spend time, resources, and effort on other crafts and the unskilled within the organization, as those members in the union are entitled to fair and equal representation by law. The TW would rather provide tickets to local sporting events, big splash water parks, and festivals and parades than to spend those same resources and time representing your and my best interest in this industry. I have always dreamed of a day when my union would spend time and effort on ideas like hiring a public relations firm, and instead of paying for negative political television ads playing in the political arena, I would like to see advertisements about who the AMTs of this industry are, what we do, and why we love this profession. professionally made videos and advertisements that point out the contributions that this profession makes to the local, state, and federal economy, and why protecting our jobs from outsourcing is paramount to both airline safety and the economic well-being of our country. This webinar video, or the video that you are now watching, is a perfect example of how technology can be used by the representing organization to involve the union members in the union representational activities and to promote and defend this profession. Industrial unions have evolved into political institutions that are controlled by appointed leaders, and the original union idea of membership-controlled democratic direction has been lost in the political aspirations of the leaders so as to preserve their power and their positions. Membership needs and desires have become low priority in these organizations. The appointed self-preservationists that we call our leadership will use fear, lies, and divisions within the membership to maintain control of the organization. The TW uses the overhaul versus line mechanics, the line versus licensed versus unlicensed mechanics, and even different title groups like stores and facilities and fleet service as tools to divide and conquer any individuals or groups that are seeking democratic membership control of the union. The Teamsters, meanwhile, are using paid organizers going door to door like Kirby vacuum salesmen, promising anything and everything that the disgruntled member wants to hear. The Southwest AMTs, the United AMTs, and even the AirTran AMTs report that the Teamsters make promises that they never deliver on. The best defense for the union member against this type of unionism is a union constitution that is enforceable by law, that allows for democratic membership voting and on all union positions, and the ability for the members to recall any and all positions within the union structure. The AMFA Constitution provides for both of these important tools to maintain membership control of the union direction. We, the members of the aviation maintenance unions within this industry, need to unite together. We need to change from unionism that believes that we pay our dues and that the leaders decide for us which direction that we will take. We need to change to the type of unionism that requires and demands our involvement in the direction and in our future. I want to speak briefly about what may be one of the most important aspects of unionism as it pertains to membership satisfaction of the overall union experience. And that is majority rule within the structure. Even a third grade math student can understand the importance of the numbers you are about to view on these next slides and how they relate to union representation satisfaction. This graphic shows a breakdown of the TWU union structure. The total membership of the TWU is 117,822 members. The total Air Transport Division membership is 48,368. Total AA mechanic and related group is 11,500 and is soon to be much less. Within the TW and the mechanic and related work group is only 9% of the total union and only 20% of the Air Transport Division. We are not the majority within the TWU. This graphic shows a breakdown of the Teamsters union structure. The total membership of the Teamsters is 1,400,000 members. Their total airline division membership, if we joined, would be 91,000. Again, the total AA mechanic related work group is 11,500. So within the Teamsters mechanic and related group would be less than 1% of the total union and less than 13% of the airline division. Again, we are not the majority within the Teamsters. This graphic shows the breakdown of the AMFA structure. The total membership is currently 2,550 members. There is no airline or ATD division with AMFA because AMFA is all about mechanics and only mechanics. Again, the total AA mechanic work group is 11,500. Within AMFA, the AA mechanic and related work group would be a huge 82% of the total union. We would dominate the majority rule of the national union and each and every local within the structure. In closing, I would like to address two issues that the Teamsters keep using to turn you against AMFA. They claim that AMFA has no money and that is a very small union in size. I want to remind everybody here that the pilots of American Airlines left ALPA and they formed the independent APA union. At the time that they made that change to the APA, that independent union did not exist, and they had $0 and 0 members. Just like the flight attendants of American Airlines, they left the TW and they formed the APFA, the Association of Professional Flight Attendants, which was also an independent union. And at the time that they made the change to the APFA, that union did not exist. It was brand new. They had $0 and they had 0 members. Both of these unions appear to be much stronger and better than the TW or the Teamsters going through the current bankruptcy process that we just went through. And so my point here is that money and size does not matter. The union dues structure at American Airlines for the mechanic and related is $600,000 a month. That should be plenty of money to properly represent our interest. This concludes the presentation today, and I want to thank each of you for watching and joining us today, and I look forward to speaking again with you in the near future.
Hello, my name is Nevi Joseph. I am an AMFA supporter. I do not want the Teamsters or any industrialized union. I want a craft union for myself, for ourselves.